Okay, let's crack into the Friday night games. Firstly, we had the Warriors take out the Roosters 14 points to 6. Oh, it was so good. I was at the game. Nothing beats a Warriors win, I can tell you that. Yeah, just loved it. Fantasy wise, it wasn't as good though, so one positive, Nafahu White though, I am an owner. He top scorer here, 69 points in 57 minutes. That included a barge over try, but his base was really good as well. And yeah, if you're an owner, you're just holding on. You're hoping, Collins has been out. He's probably back next week. Nat Butcher's due back soon as well. But this game just went the way of White. Connor Watson got ruled out. Radley went off for an HIA, but he passed that. But ended up playing 57 minutes, which is great. But going forward, I don't think he's going to get those minutes. I think he'll be around the 40 to 45 minute mark, and that's what you're going to have to expect from White going forward, I would say, unless Collins and Butcher are still out. I mean, Watson's going to be out next week, but basically I'd be saying hold him until he puts up a score where he's going to stop making money, but do not buy. I wouldn't be chasing this. He's been getting good points because of all of the Roosters forwards being out, but that's going to come to an end, and his scoring is going to come down, unfortunately. So yeah, I wouldn't be jumping on him now. It's probably too late. Chansey fixes his average up a little bit with a really nice game, 67 points. He ran over 300 meters here and picked up a few attacking stats as well, but yeah, he's just one that, he's lost a bit of money, but he's probably that low 40s guy. He's going to be averaging around there. Also, Warriors have a bye coming up in round 5, so I would not be worrying too much about Charms' score. He's not going to be doing this every week. We're playing a fairly tricky Tigers side, definitely better than they have been, so I think he'll have a pretty good game against the Tigers, but not someone I'd be looking to buy. In terms of wing fullbacks, I'd be probably looking at Scott Drinkwater or Reece Walsh. They're just historically better averaging players that, they're only going to be like 100k more. So yeah, I'd be avoiding chance there. Chad Townsend, 63 today or yesterday, 42 tackles, 513 kick meters. So extreme base stats here. I don't even know how he made 42 tackles here. That's going to be his season high, I'm sure of it. Kick meters a little probably, that's pretty normal for him. But yeah, I wouldn't be chasing Chad Townsend here. He's not going to be. He's going to be like a mid-30s average guy. He doesn't kick goals. He doesn't really, besides tackling and kicking, he doesn't really run the ball too much. He had a turnover tackle here and a 40-20 as well. So yeah, just a few extra stats here. Wouldn't be worrying too much about him. Ali Leitao scores 2 tries today. Yesterday, I keep saying today. 58 points. So if you're an owner, you'd probably be wanting a bit more than 58 points for a 2-try game, but maybe something in the 60s. But that's okay. I'd say if you manage to hold him after his low round 1 score, then good stuff. I'll just keep holding him there. He's looking like one of the Warriors' best players, and he's going to have a lot of ball coming to him with lots of opportunities there. So I'd definitely be holding on, and I wouldn't be looking to buy though. He's just a bit too expensive for a player that's not going to be a keeper. He'll be around that 40 average mark. So yeah, that's Ali for you. Wong, 57 and 80 minutes. That's a very solid effort there, and he's probably one that I missed. Just thinking, with the Roosters forwards coming back, I thought he'd be one to drop out, and that still could happen. But he's gonna be up at about 100k made next week, and with a break even, a very low break even. So even if he gets moved to the bench, he'll probably make at worst 120k if he did jump on. So 5.6%, 54 tackles here. That's yeah, it must have been just down that edge with Townsend and Wong on it. I'm pretty sure they're on the same side, but yeah, just tackling their hearts out today. And I think if Wong, if Butcher and Collins are back and Wong maintains a spot in the starting side, he's going to be one that we need to seriously consider, because he's still going to be pretty cheap. He'll be around 450k, and an 80-minute edge player is going to be pretty valuable at that price. So one to keep an eye on there. James Tedesco, standard score here. He looked, lively as ever. 200 run meters, 7 tackle breaks. And he's going to drop a little bit more cash, just a tiny bit, so it'll be about 680k next week. And he is someone that you can probably just buy if you need a wing fullback. So there's going to be Walsh, Drinkwater, and Tedesco all at fairly affordable prices, where you can jump on, and they should, continue to produce decent scores. I mean, Walsh and Drinkwater didn't score too well last night, but Tedesco, he's still as good as he has ever been fantasy wise, I would say. So yeah, definitely someone that you can just buy. I would recommend. Lenu, 54 points in 53 minutes, so he picked up a few extra minutes here, possibly because of the Watson failed HIA, and man, his carries were just extremely good. Like he was busting tackles nearly every run. He looked like he was going to burst through and score a try every time. And if he keeps getting minutes like this, he would actually be a buy. But I think we probably want to see it one more time. Like, he'll go up by 20k. But my prediction for him is probably playing about that 40-minute mark and scoring about 40 points. So if he was just a 40-point player, it wouldn't be worth it. But yeah, I think if we see these minutes again, we'll definitely have to think about looking at Lenu there. Crichton, 53, pretty standard from him. He's still making offloads there. It's very solid base, but just one that's very expensive, and he's one for later in the season. I wouldn't be looking at him now. The difference between him and Tedesco is probably that, wing fullback is just such a tough position to fill right now, and as soon as we can gun up in that position, it's probably a good idea to do it. But just at edge, we have so many good options right now. It's just not the right time to be looking at an edge gun, even though, we'd probably just hope for his price to drop a little bit lower before we look at him. Ford played 62 minutes here, so Barnett and Fisher-Harris probably played a bit less minutes than last week, and Ford got those minutes. It's a weird one here. He came off the bench and played out the game. We also lost, who did we lose? Roger. So he may have stayed on a bit longer because of Tuivasa-Sheck getting injured. Because Barnett played on the edge, so he may have just had to cover minutes of prop there. So I probably wouldn't be looking at Ford, especially at that price. He's just, you're buying a bench player essentially for 593k, so it just doesn't seem worth it to me. Fisher-Harris, solid PPM again, 51 and 48 minutes. Hold strong if you own him. The minutes are a little bit annoying. You'd probably be hoping for about 5 more minutes there, but the scoring is very nice. He was priced at about 44, I think, to start the season, and he's going to make some slow cash. And maybe in a month's time he'll be one you can look to upgrade. But even so, if he's just pumping out 50s, then he's just going to maintain his price, and you can hold him for a decent amount of the season through Origin as well. He should get better minutes when Barnett probably makes the Origin side. So yeah, in terms of buying, I probably wouldn't jump on. There's probably going to be some fallen guns that are better targets than Fisher-Harris, just because his ceiling's probably not too high. Good floor, but just not really an optimal buy, I would say. Wade Egan played the 80 minutes again, So he's one that I've missed as well, but it's just tough. As I said last week, it was a bit up in the air whether he would be that 80-minute player this season, and it seems like he is. So he's going to be up around that 650k mark to start the week, and I just think it's probably a bit too expensive to dive in on now. He had a pretty good game again, just missed 5 tackles. I think most of those were on Lenu, and he's not going to have to deal with that every week. But yeah, Egan is a potential option, definitely a potential option. But yeah, just one to keep an eye on, I'd say. Docker Clay, 49 points in 41 minutes. He covered the extra minutes of hooker here. He'll also be starting at hooker next week, so he's another one that's going to be making, he'll be up at 70k, and then he's going to probably start at hooker next week, so he'll probably be up around that 110, 120k made. But unfortunately, as soon as Watson's back, he'll just be playing probably 30 minutes off the bench, so I don't think he's one to be diving into. Radley, 47 points in 60 minutes. We were probably hoping for a little bit lower score, so he'd drop a bit more money, but he's one that could be a decent buy in a couple of weeks. Hopefully, if he just his break even is probably going to be around that 55 next week. If he gets down to around 500k, I think he's one to definitely have a look at. If Safeheart has another bad game, he could be a pivot option there. But yeah, he's going to be a value buy very soon. Capewell, 46 and 80 minutes, standard for him. He's just gonna hover around that 500k mark, so I wouldn't be looking at him. Tupou, same story. He's just scoring in the 40s, and that's about where he's priced. I wouldn't be looking at him. There's no real value there. Harris Tavita, another one that I feel like I've missed. Unfortunately, I had tunnel vision for Luke Metcalf, and Harris Tavita has been the more impressive half in terms of fantasy scoring so far, averaging 43. He was priced at 26 points to start the season, so he's going to be making some steady money here. But I do think it's a bit late to be jumping on. I project him to average about 36 points, and to open the next week, he's going to be priced at about 430k, and I think that's, if we look here, Chanel 30, so yeah, he'll be priced about 32 next week, and I only see about 4 to 5 points of value in him, and I don't think he's a buy at that stage. Aaron Clark getting steady minutes, good PPM, but I think at the price he is just not worth jumping on. Yeah, he would probably need an extra 5 minutes to be in the conversation, but I think he's one you can just let go. Tuivasa-Sheck, unfortunately, he's done his hammy, so he's probably going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks. So yeah, I think if you own him, he's probably a sell. He's putting up decent numbers for the price. I mean, he's maintaining his price. I wouldn't say it's decent numbers, but he was going on for a big one tonight or yesterday, but yeah. So my prediction is either Ed Cossey will just replace him on the wing, or Pompey will move out to the wing and Rocco Berry will come into centre. We'll just have to see how that goes, but either Berry or Cossey, they wouldn't be buys anyway, so yeah, just one to ignore there. Barnett, just the 37 points in 49 minutes. Yeah, if you're an owner and you didn't jump off, this is your sign to move hell and earth to get Payne Haas-in. Barnett is a prime candidate to be traded out to Payne Haas, and yeah, I would be selling Barnett. The fact that his minutes have fluctuated from round 1, 2, and 3, it's hard to get a read on how it's going to go, and he just doesn't score at a point a minute on average, so I think he's one to be selling. Dylan Walker, just the 44 minutes coming off the bench, he's just one we can ignore. Halasima actually got 30 minutes this week, and we saw what he could do. 5 tackle breaks and an offload. He was one of the Warriors' best, and I can only see more game time coming for him. I don't know how soon, but I'm really hoping that he can get a start sooner or later. And yeah, he's one. He's going to make 15k here, but as long as he's starting on the bench, I would not be going there, because it's just from week to week, you just don't know how many minutes he's going to play. You don't know when he's going to come on. I mean, I would presume he's probably going to be playing that 30 minutes at least now, because Niokore he completely outclassed Niokore this week. So yeah, one that could make some serious cash if he starts getting the minutes. Blake Steep, just the 29 minutes this week for 32 points, so he's going to make more money here. But I think he's going to be one where, in a couple of weeks, his minutes are going to drop off. He may even, he'll probably be that last one to come off the bench kind of guy. And I just don't think you can dive into him now. It had to be at the start of the season, and it was just a bit of a hard one to do. So yeah, I wouldn't be looking at Steep. Sandon Smith, 32 points. So that's honestly really solid. He didn't score a try this week, but 20 tackles and 108 run meters. You love to see it. Hopefully you've got him as a cash cow. He's making nice steady cash. He's going to go up another 40k this week. In terms of looping, I've got him in my loop slot. I can either loop his 32 in or play Stafford Toa or Ayongi, and it's like right on the borderline. You kind of want to take the risk on Stafford. That's what my thoughts are, because at worst he's probably going to score a 25, but he could get another 50 pointer. You never know. So it's tough. I think I would judge it based on your head-to-head matchup. If you're chasing, then I'd play Stafford Toa, but if you're sort of leading, then I'd probably just take the points. If overall rank wise, if you do have Payne Haas, because if you don't, then the overall ranks are just in the rubbish bin. I would probably take the risk and play one of your Ayongi or Stafford Toa, whoever you got there. I'd probably take the risk, and I wouldn't loop in the 32. But yeah, Sandon Smith, one we can just keep holding on. He's going to keep making money, and it's happy days there. Tuapiki, just standard game on the wing, 30 points, wouldn't be going there. Marky Mark, 29 points in 80 minutes, so he looked pretty good again, but just, his combination with Tupou out on the wing, it just seems still a little bit rusty. And yeah, I wouldn't be buying him, but I also wouldn't be selling. Like, he's gonna make a little bit of money, and he's someone that, it feels like he can get you at least 25 points a week. So yeah, I'd definitely be holding him, but I don't think I'd be looking to buy. Niokore, just he's a 50 to 60 minute edge priced at that. He's just not someone to look at. Connor Watson, so he I'm not too sure if it was a category 1 or 2 HIA, but he failed. So I'm pretty sure he will not be playing next week, but he'll just be missing the one game. He is a very strong hold. He was looking on for another score in the 50s here, and it's just unfortunate the way it's panned out. But yep, I would say you definitely should be holding Connor Watson. Dom Young, just a normal game from him, a little bit low. Luke Metcalf, so yes, unfortunately, just 27 points this week. A little bit of a downer, but look, the kick meters are there, and the run meters were not, and it was pretty frustrating watching him. He was just, don't know, it's like he's just forgotten to run the ball, and he's just focusing a lot more on passing, and that's good for the team, but for our fantasy teams it's concerning. And he's one that, I wouldn't be saying sell. I'd definitely give him next week against the Tigers, but going into the bye, he's one that we definitely need to have a think about, because the way I've projected him, it includes his running game, and if he's just going to be putting that away, then I definitely need to revise what I expect from him and consider options, basically. And his goal kicking wasn't the best either, but hopefully he can work on that. But yeah, it's just 27 points. It's not the worst, but it's not the best either. And then, yeah, Robert Toyer as well, only 24 points. He just had a few too many negatives here, negative 12, so that could have been a score in the 30s if he just cleaned those up. I think he's still someone you can start from week to week. He's still at a solid base of tackles and run meters. It's just, yeah, the Warriors were fairly dominant here. They had probably more possession. But yeah, it's a tough one for Toya. He's still making money, absolutely hold, but one that you probably want to take a little bit more consideration before starting him. If you have other options, definitely consider it. But yeah, he's definitely not a walk-up start that people were probably thinking, including myself. I was happy to start him and then just, yeah, kind of wish I maybe started Stafford Tower, but hindsight is hindsight. And then we've just got the bench crumbs here, so Makatoa, wouldn't be looking at him. Pompey, yeah, he's just not much of a fantasy scorer. Savala, wouldn't be looking at him, he'll be gone next week presumably. And Vaimalga, just 18 minutes again, so yeah, I'd be selling if I owned him. He's not going to be getting the minutes. Alright, that was that, and now I'll be recording the next one.